What's up, desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and in this video, we're discussing Big Ramy's crazy latest physique update. And I compare his 2021 Mr. Olympia physique with his current physique update and decide who wins. And you guys can let me know in the comments below. It's much appreciated, but hope you guys enjoy this video. What's up, desktopers? Now let's get straight into this one. So Big Ramy has given us a physique update, a posing video that goes for about 2.5 minutes. And I've got a bit of information, on this one as well from Chad Nichols' Instagram page too, because Big Ramy originally posted it, but Chad Nichols sort of followed it up with a little bit more insider information on this one. So let's get straight to that. So bringing up the Instagram page here. That's obviously a Big Ramy says, have a good Friday, God willing. I'll bring that up and we can play that for you guys as well while we're talking about it. And then I'm going to compare. Well, actually, it's not playing anymore. Let's get back to that. So you can see it playing here a little bit. Have a good Friday, God willing. That's all he said. Mila Sachev reacts there. Lights out. Show is over. The Diet Doc, which is his coach, Chad Nichols, says Big Ramy and a bunch of freezing faces, almost froze just watching it. Lee Priest, obviously bodybuilding Australian legend. Congrats on the title. And then he put first again. Then a bunch of mashalas, which I don't exactly know what that means, which I feel like I should. But looking fantastic. But let's head over to Chad Nichols' Instagram here. And for some reason, half the time when I play this, it goes green light at the start, but don't mind that. It says Team Mayhem update, day 5 of the diet, and everything seems to be going pretty good. You put a bunch of those freezing faces again because the famous winter is coming from Big Ramy. I would strap in because the Big Ramy Polar Express is just getting started. So 5 days into the diet, and he's looking absolutely outrageous. For whatever reason, the way Chad Nichols posted it up, it looks sort of low quality. And I'll actually stop sharing my screen and I'll show you the actual comparison of Big Ramy from the 2021 Mr. Olympia to now and how he's looking currently in this current physique update. And guys, let me know in the comments your thoughts on Big Ramy and how he's looking right now in his most recent physique update of him posing, because I think he looks absolutely insane. If I haven't given my opinion yet, he just is looking so much better than last year. I'm going to show you guys that now. So let's have a little look. I'll just stop that share and then I'll share another page. I think I did this earlier and I pulled it off. So hopefully it works for me this time. Actually, no, that won't work for me for whatever reason. Or will it? Or will it? It will. Okay. So let's do it. I think you guys can see this on the screen right now. Hopefully you can. And it's basically Big Ramy on the left, 2021 Mr. Olympia on the right. That's the most recent physique update. Now, the angles are a little bit different here, so don't mind me. And I'm going to pause it as we play this to basically break down pose by pose. So front double bicep, you can see the cameras are moving around a little bit. Just went past it. Oh, for some reason went back to the start. So we'll go back to the front double bicep. My computer's lagging a little bit for whatever reason. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. It's a little bit frustrating, but we'll skip forward just a little bit more. There we go. We're good. We're good. So Big Ramy's front double bicep. Now, obviously, completely different lighting, all that sort of stuff. But I think you guys can agree with me. This is a much thicker physique here on the right. To me, it's dramatically different. The arms alone, they look so much fuller, so much just like the forearms, the biceps, the triceps. Like the triceps are quite, reasonably hanging in the 2021 Mr. Olympia version. But look how much thicker the chest just looks. Now you're getting to see the side-on version in the 2021 a little bit, but you can even see in the 2022, it looks thicker just in that front double bicep alone. Now he's hitting the shot differently, obviously in a vacuum style pose on the left, and he's sort of got the abs crunched a little bit on the right. Now, obviously, he's still super full, so he may have been fed up on calories and just sort of not been able to actually pull that vacuum in the one on the right, or maybe he's actually going to hit the pose this way. I'm not too sure. I do like the vacuum on Big Ramy, but we'll have to wait and see what he does at this year's Mr. Olympia. But just a quick little side note as well. It looks like he has stuff in his pockets here. Like his legs are actually there. Like, look at how crazy that is. It's absolutely insane. It doesn't even look real. So Big Ramy's lats as well. That's probably one of the big things I noticed. I mean, I would love to see this photo on the right from the same angle as the one on the left, because I'm imagining there'd be a lot more thickness there. We'd be able to see just a lot more overall. So I would love to see that little bit more fullness. There was some comments. Steve Rivera, I'll try to pull out this comment, says same thing every year. He always looks bigger this far out. Now, I will agree, some of these physique updates, he definitely does look bigger, you know, in a lot of physique updates, a decent way out from the Olympia. But last year we saw some, but I'm not convinced that they were actually from last year's prep, because he started training, what was it, 12 weeks, 14 weeks out of the Olympia. I think he said 12 weeks out he started training, and he didn't train since the Olympia prior. So I find it hard to believe if we did see, I can't even remember if we did see ones X amount of weeks out last year, but if we did, I can't imagine how recent, because I can't remember any of them looking particularly bad. But anyway, let's get back to this video and we'll go through some of this. And also, guys, if you want to drop a super chat as well, obviously I'll feature your question 100%, feature at the top, and it does help support me and my channel. So it'd be much appreciated if you can get around those super chats. And I've got a couple little super chats, but I don't know where that money goes. I know obviously I get it through YouTube, but whatever. So we've got front lat spread here. Now, the delts is one thing that everyone is going to want to look at. Now, it's not the greatest quality video on the left here, but as you can see, as I pull that up, because the lighting in the background was terrible at the Olympia last year, I pray to God they don't do that again. Let me know if you hated the background lighting, because literally now I can see his shoulders in the 2021 because that lighting has sort of gone to a lighter shade. Anyway, look at the delts. Now look at the 2022 version. Really, I mean, it doesn't look much difference in terms of like pointiness or anything like that. Now he's obviously shredded and like a bit leaner in this 2021 version, but at the same time, like, so it should make, you know, them stick out a bit more prominently. But really, I mean, his delts overall look just fuller, much fuller in this version in 2022. Now look at the arms. The arms look fuller. The chest looks dramatically fuller on Big Ramy. It looks like it's expanded, almost like he's had some sort of massage work done and it's gotten bigger. I don't know what's happening there. The waist still looks, you know, I think by the time he diets down, it's going to be just as small. And the lats are absolutely huge. Now, I looked at this sort of thing here. I was like, is there some sort of like dent here in his lat, or is there something going on here? But it sort of looks the same sort of last year. And you can see it on this side as well. I mean, we'll play it and see if that's, yeah, you can see. So when he flexes it, you can see here up on the left-hand side, it sort of pokes out. I think he's maybe flexing that too much, and he just needs to actually relax his lats, maybe get more out of it. But let's move on to the side chest. We'll be able to see a real idea of thickness here. And obviously, I wish I could line these up perfectly so you guys can see a bit clearer. But I think to scale, it's pretty much to scale. I mean, I think it's slightly bigger on the 2022 version in terms of how zoomed in it is, but very little as the feet. You can see there, the angles are different. But in 2022, there is a certain level of thickness to his upper body. It remains to be seen what the legs look like, but they look absolutely enormous from what I've seen. The arm, to me, overall, just looks a little bit fuller. The forearms look pretty similar, maybe say a little bit fuller as well, the shoulders. And just, I'm so impressed with his conditioning this far out. It's absolutely crazy. And if it's true, and he hasn't, like, he's missed, what, 2 or 3 meals or something like that all year, he said. It's basically the most sort of like head down, ass up, dedicated years he's had. If that's true, and he only trained 12 weeks last year and he still won, it's like, it's hard to imagine any sort of other results. But we do know he had that drama where he didn't get to the Pittsburgh Pro, and then for whatever reason he couldn't use a phone for however many days, so he couldn't personally contact them. That seems a little bit weird to me, and hard to imagine that he went through some sort of situation like that and still didn't really miss any meals. That's sort of hard to believe. Anyway, let's move to the back. So when he goes into this, I wanted to highlight this. When I was making the video, I noticed it. So see him coming back here. So it's basically at the same time. You can see as he's getting to here, on the left-hand side, his back sort of fades away. And look at the level of detail through his lower back in the 11-week out version here on the right. It's absolutely insane. Also, shout out 142 people in the live stream right now. Let's try to get as many likes and all that sort of stuff and comments as we can. Help this live grow. And if you guys support it, then basically I'll keep doing more of these lives. But that is such an impressive just pulling back pose like that. And now let's look at the traps. Look how high the traps go on his neck. Like there's so much more thickness there. I'm assuming we'll see that in the back double bicep and probably the back lat spread as well. Uh, just a huge amount of craziness here. And you can see on the arms here, see how it just sort of goes down, fades away around the triceps. Look at this. Boom, delt pops out. Then it pops out here as well. And there's just more meat. He can't get his back. Look, there's more muscle here. It's just not going in when you can see it's just a bit less on this side. I don't think he's pulled back any further because he got full contraction of that lower back there. Now we got Mark's Max Muscle in the comments. Desktop is Parapa channel. I'm assuming you're going after Lou Marco there, man. But I hope you're doing well. Go check out Mark's Max Muscle. He's a legend. Got a great channel. Does heaps of these almost style comparison videos. So shout out Mark's Max Muscle. Let's get back to this comparison. So pulls back. Look at it. He's just got so much more thickness. I almost can't get over it. And he's obviously holding a bit of fluid here too, so he can't sort of pull all the way back, but so much more thickness. Wow. So this is where I noticed the most difference. And Renowed or Renewed? Renowed. Let's go Renowed. Can Samson beat Big Ramy? If Big Ramy stays dedicated, unfortunately, I don't believe Samson can. And I love Samson. But look at this. So look across his shoulders on the 2021 version. It goes flat. Now, he might have his shoulders pulled up slightly higher. I don't know. But it goes flat. And you look at these traps as they run down the back. It looks a little bit flat for Ramy. It doesn't go right up here. Look at 2022. He might flatten out a little bit, but those traps are popping. And look at his neck. Look at the size of the dude's neck. It's huge. He's obviously going to come down a little bit, but wow. Like there is just as much pop to his back, even through this part, it looks like, as he had on stage at last year's Olympia. Absolutely crazy. So very, very round. The lats are so much more filled out in this 2022 version now. Different camera angle, all that sort of stuff. I know it's probably, the 2021 is probably from a slightly lower camera angle, because you can see his legs look a little bit shorter here compared to 2021. But wow, those lats look much, much fuller. I want to watch that in normal speed again. So go into it. Yeah, that is just so impressive. And then he sort of adjusts it and is sitting in it even better here as well. So Big Ramy is looking somewhat unbeatable at this stage, but we haven't seen his legs that much. And it could, imagine if you got some huge, cork from a bad shot or something like that. Anything can happen with Big Ramy, but he's looking very impressive. Back double bicep. Let's get into it. Okay, so obviously I've got the scale completely wrong on this one, but I was zooming in, zooming out on this, so it was difficult to do in a quick amount of time. But Big Ramy on the left, obviously more detailed. You can't see the proper lighting on the right. This one's tough to tell, but look at this part. Look how much thickness there is from just say his armpit here to the middle part of his bicep. Or like you go from here, look how much more filled out that is. He looks like he has a bit more lower lat maybe going on. It's hard to tell because of the angle. He's leaning back more on this one, so it sort of dissolves his back up a little bit more. So it'll be we're very interesting to see how that looks in person. But you can see his chest, like that's his chest going up along there. That's not his trap. His trap goes down here, and then that's his chest sticking up. You can see a little bit of it here, but not as much. And this actually, the one on the right's from a lower angle. Actually, no, it's not. Sorry, that's maybe why. Moving on to the next shot, I believe it's we've got the most muscular here. So obviously not perfectly to scale, but you can really see a big difference between left and right. They look like two different bodybuilders. Doesn't look like there's going to be an issue in terms of the quads, because the quads are sticking out hugely on this one. And just overall, just the amount of muscle on the shoulders. Look at this left shoulder over here compared to this one. And it doesn't look like there's any deltoid issues with the oil that people were sort of suggesting with Big Ramy. So super, super impressive. We've got one more pose to go through, which is the hands on hips most muscular. Then I'll get to some of your questions. And this is the biggest change. So his waist, actually, whether it's his waist being a bit more blocky here, I did notice that last year is like a set of abs, and then he had these obliques that came out to here, and then it went straight up and down. I feel like it just looks so much different now. It can be because of the camera angle, all that sort of stuff, but normally that'd be from even higher camera angle again. So the camera angle is helping him here in the 2022 version. But like, look at that. The shoulder to waist, it is still, it just looks very different because I believe he has a lot more muscle and he's kept that waist tight. So more muscle, keeping the waist the same, seeming like he's going to have better conditioning. It seems damn hard for anyone else to win the 2022 Olympia. But as we know, it hasn't been smooth sailing this year for Big Ramy. It wasn't smooth sailing for him last year. He did say that, or I believe Dennis James said it, that he was ready to pull out of the Olympia. He wanted to pull out. So that says something. The fact that he's defending his title for the first time and he wanted to pull out during that prep. I don't know what he had going on in his personal life, but things to be that serious and to be struggling that much during prep. I mean, it's hard to imagine he'll just keep going and keep going and keep going. I imagine him getting 4 or maybe 3, 4, 5, somewhere around that, and then sort of calling it quits. But yeah, so anyway, I want to get to your guys' comments. Let me know what you think about the comparison of Big Ramy. I'm going to get to your comments while I actually play some video as well, so you guys can sort of just at least have something to watch while I'm sort of going through all that sort of stuff. So I'll stop the share on this one. I will bring up one of these guys' Instagram, so you can just watch that Big Ramy video play on repeat while I answer some of those questions. So let's share the screen once again. Boom, there we go, boys. So let's, boys and girls. So let's go through some of these comments and answer these for you guys. And like I said, if you do a super chat, 100% guaranteed, you'll pop your question up to the top. Supports the channel. It's just a small, basically, donation. And your stuff gets highlighted as well. So let's go through it. Okay, a few just random comments at the start. So Omid Fazeli, Ramy number 1, Hardy number 2, Bonak number 3, and Curry number 4. I like those picks. I like them because I can see Hardy being his all-time best, and the demand was that he comes in better condition to place higher. And I mean, obviously, yeah, I mean, not in better condition, in coming in bigger in the same condition to place higher. And I mean, I think that he's going to come in better. And there's a whole bunch of guys I think are going to come in better this year, but it's hard to say. Obviously, you never know with the way the world is if Hardy will even get here. But he's been successful at it lately. And he does say, "I hope Hardy wins." So let me know. Are you from Iran or anything like that? Looks like winter is coming again. Albert KO. I didn't take note of this, but I probably just missed it actually. I'm opposing there. His lower back muscle thickness from the side in between pose is protruding out insane. That's from Neo San King. Thank you, Neo, for getting in the comments. We're looking at about, I think we've been around 200 viewers. So shout out to you guys for liking the video. Share it out on social media and stuff as well. Just take a screenshot of your screen and even copy the link and chuck a link on there and put it on Instagram. That would be a huge help. That would be like next level, and just tag in Desktop Bodybuilding and also my personal account as well, Xavier Wills, and I'll share you guys out on Desktop Bodybuilding as well. So yeah, everyone's going about winter coming, and it seems like winter is coming with Big Ramy, and it's fitting as well because they're doing it in December. A lot of people big on Big Ramy, which makes sense with the way he's looking. Oh yeah, we've gone through that comment. He looks crazy good. Lots of people very, very impressed with these physique updates from Big Ramy. Here we go. Papuna official. Papuna. Unfair comparison on stage. He's very low body fat. Of course, yeah, definitely an unfair comparison in terms of who wins, but to compare the actual physique, I think it's interesting. It's ridiculous how much muscle we can pack onto that frame with that small waist. Yep, absolutely mind-blowing. Here we go. Renaud says, I could see Bonak beating him. It's hard to imagine if Ramy is hard and comes in at his all-time best, but Bonak is an absolute freak, and I wouldn't put anything past him. Yes, Mark's Max Muscle was making the Louis reference before, and Louis Marco is back as well. So let me know what you think about that, Mark. Yeah, let me know what you think about that. Seems a bit Ramy been through these ones, I think. Mike Debenham, who's actually an IFB pro, I believe it's you, Mike. What do you think? 2013, he should have been Mr. O. We can actually have a look at those photos as well to show you what Big Ramy looked like in his pro debut in 2013 at that New York Pro. Here we go. Honest John, where do you see Derek placing, Xavier? I see Derek placing. I mean, it's tough, man. Like it's when I start to go through it, I start to go, okay, well, is he beating a Nick Walker? Is he beating a Hunter Labrada who looks crazy? And make sure you check out my most recent actual bodybuilding news video. I'll bring up a photo of it before, but I messed up and didn't put the thumbnail up, so I think it killed the views on it. But it's a really good one. But yeah, Derek, I mean, top six, but that's so vague. I feel like that's a crap answer. So I'll say Derek Lunsford will be. Let's roll with fourth. I'm going to say fourth. That the Mr. Olympia. Fifth. I'm going to say fifth actually because I'm starting to add it up in my head. I'm going to say something along the lines of Big Ramy, Brandon Curry, William Bonac, Hardy Chupin, Derek Lunsford maybe. And then you'd have Hunter Labrada or Nick Walker in sixth. I mean, the top seven is going to be insane this year. It's going to be full of guys that could be top three. None able to beat Ramy if everything goes right. Totally agree. Totally agree. Cobra Eyes on that back already. Oh, Mike Debenham. Derek Lunsford can definitely make top six, I bet. Totally agree. Ronnie Coleman called it. Yeah, I don't really see much happening about top three. Pretty much the same thing again. I love listening to Ronnie. He's so cool. Lunsford should beat Labrada at least. I mean, Labrada is good, but if Lunsford comes in with, I mean, it totally depends on Lunsford's conditioning. From memory, his legs were better in 2020. Are they on the decline? Is that the reason he hasn't revealed them? Now, I think the reason he hasn't revealed them is I don't know. I don't know if he actually did reveal them or not. If he hasn't, I'm not sure. But I just think because they're not as impressive as they once were. I will bring up Ronnie Coleman 2013 if I remember. Also, vote in the poll that I've got on the YouTube live too. I'll actually bring it up. I won't bring it up on the screen, but I'll bring it up. It might actually play my live back at me for 1 second. So just you might hear a bit of reverb. So saved it. So basically the poll results so far. Make sure you vote now. I see you guys voting actually. I see the number going up. That's cool. So we got 177 votes, and it's the question is: will we see the best Big Ramy at the 2022 Mr. Olympia? And it's gone up by another 2 votes as well. 82% of you say yes. So 82% of you guys think we're going to see the best Big Ramy of all time. I tend to agree. 10% say no, and 7% say he'll never beat 2013 New York Pro. Super interesting. We'll go to that New York Pro as well in a second. I just want to answer a few more of your guys' questions. So let's go through it a bit. Mark's Max Muscle says big man's chest. He does have a big man's chest. Huge man's chest. Can Sean Clarita place top 10 in the Open? Yes, I think he will because he'll catch guys that are off. Sean Clarita ain't missing his conditioning. Hell no. Brandon brings up legs in Kuwait. Can he regain his title? He can for sure. I'm a big believer in Brandon. I think he's going to be his all-time best. I'm going to be honest with you guys. He's going out to Kuwait earlier than ever, and I think that's going to pay off. Mark's Max Muscle loves this kind of comparisons. He does. He was born off these types of comparisons. Brian Fullerton, what's your current top 5 predictions for the O this year? I think I sort of mentioned it before. So I'll say Big Ramy first. I'll say Brandon Curry second. I will say William Bonac third, Hardy Chupin fourth, and Derek Lunsford fifth. There you go. Nick Walker and Hunter don't hate me as well because I think that, like Nick Walker's a guy that could win the Olympia, and I've got him outside the top 5. Crazy. Oil muscle, not loyal. Kyle, is the muscle loyal or oil? But yeah, we've got some good stuff on here. Mike, yeah, he's way better than last year. A lot of people giving their predictions on the Olympia as well, which is cool. Can Andrew hit top 6? Andrew Jacked, I didn't even mention him then as well. So you're gonna have Andrew Jack. I don't think Andrew Jack will, but he could have that shock factor because when he stands from the front, his front double bicep is probably going to kick everyone else's asses. So, big raps on Andrew Jacked if he brings that conditioning and if he can come in just that little bit fuller as well. He comes in pretty full, but I think that if he can grow a little bit in this, like George Farah has said, he will grow into the next contest. Kyle. I think that little guy, I think he's smoking crack. It's like D was, you know? I don't know if that was a request for me doing that or what, but I like doing it anyway. We go David Gutierrez. I like that name. How does Andrew stack against them? Andrew Jack stacks up pretty damn well in some shots from the back. He will get wiped against some of these guys. I'm being straight. But he does have a good structure from the back, so he might not get wiped as much as I think. But front shots, he can win against the best in the world. Back shots, he can lose. Side shots, he needs to improve. I think the way he hits his side chest. A few little things there. And, I mean, he is that good. This is ironic because I actually am cold a little bit at the moment. Andrew Jack, top 5 ahead of Walker and Labrada, question mark. That's from Ronaldo as well. I don't think so. I don't think so. If Ramy adds more mass to Olympia and keeps the condition, he will be the best of all time. Now, best of all time, that's a big call. Obviously, got to think about Ronnie Coleman a little bit in that. Here we go. Great question. David Gutierrez, once again, do you think guys like Ramy could hang with Coleman and Cutler? Cutler, yeah. Coleman, 2013, 1998. It's tough because that is such, I mean, the clean lines of 98, the sheer mass of 2003. 2003, I mean, if Ramy brings something crazy like bigger than Ronnie in 2003, which is sort of hard to imagine, but with some sort of hanging muscle and it's just ultra conditioned, something we've never seen from Ramy before, he could do it. I mean, because he's got some craziness going on right now to his physique. I'm trying to catch up to you guys' questions. Yeah, you guys are too good. Guess it's a match between Nick Walker, Andrew Jacked, and Big Ramy. I don't think so. I think Brandon Curry, I think William Bonac, I think Hardy Chupin. The Olympia is stacked. They have names in everyone's mouths, though. Nick Walker and Andrew Jacked. So I can understand why you might think that. But Nick said Lunsford could beat Hunter and Nick, but not this year. Nick said, oh, Nick Trigilli or Nick Strength and Power or Nick Walker. I don't know. You need to be more specific on your nicks. Big call, Mark's Max Muscle. Victor Boff will shock the field and beat Ramy. Wouldn't have thought so. But Victor Boff does come in shredded. Ronnie impression, love it. I've got actually a lot of impressions, but I actually watched one of Ronnie's videos recently, Mark's Max Muscle, and actually no, it wasn't recently, it's a few years ago. I lie. But Ronnie was basically he got a mani pedi, I think, and they went to say, "You got your toenails done." Mitsuru was saying that. He looks down at his feet, and I don't know why he did it because he has shoes on. And Ronnie just goes, "I got my shoes on," and that was one of my all-time favorite things that I replayed a million times. No Curry. No, I say Curry is second for me this year. I want to say he wins because I like Curry and I message Brandon, and he's just such a good dude. Like Curry will be 5. 5th. Curry out of top 6 from Kyle. Okay, we're getting to a lot of Olympia chat here. I want to keep it on Big Ramy. If you guys have any more questions about him, wow, there's a lot of comments. This is awesome, guys. Louis Marco is back, guys. I think I'm giving Louis Marco a good bit of publicity. I need to calm down on that. Can Brandon win this year if he brings the Arnold 2019 look? Now, I think this Arnold 2019 look was very, very good, but I think it was smaller than what we've seen, like what we saw last year from Brandon. I think that 2019 Arnold look was smaller, but it was a very, very nice look. If he can bring something similar to that, but he has to have the more size as well. It's 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 not going to be enough if Ramy is what we think he could be. But Brand's out in quite longer this time. He can do it. Ugly synthol delts. I didn't say it. IR said it. I can't even remove his comment. Anyone else miss Rolly Winkler when talking the O? I know his conditioning wasn't the best as a whole. I do miss Rolly very much. He's a legend. That's for Juice Goose. Love your name. Oh, do an Arnie impression, Xavier. I don't know if I can do a good Arnie. I feel like it comes off as just corny, like a normal corny Arnold impression. I'm trying to think of who I can do. I can do a Milos. Yes, I was talking to Chad Nichols. I was trying to explain to him the proper hyperemia protocol for maximal growth, maximal tissue. And I don't know why we just try to build a wall just to tear it all down. You know, we need to refuel and grow the correct insulin. Human and la. Human. Yeah, anyway, that's my meal loss. I feel like I'm not very good at it tonight. It's 11:15 at night, so it's anyway, I think I've caught up to most of the questions. Derek will beat Curry for sure. I don't know about that, Salvatore. Angelina. Kyle, oh no, same comment. I'm glad you like the meal impersonation. I'll try to do better next time. How many weeks into prep is Ramy? He's 5 days into prep. It actually says it on the screen here. I think day 5 of a diet and everything seems to be going pretty good. So Chad Nichols seems very, very confident. He did have a guest posing. I'm not sure what he's saying. Speaking of Milos, thoughts on what Jay said about Regan? Can Regan actually make an impact next year? I mean, Regan, I think, needs to just batten down the hatches. I think Jay, the way he speaks about Regan is that potentially he's not as all in all the time, 100% on everything. That's the impression I get from Jay with the way he spoke to Regan. Like, he's like, you have to be on it, you know, like, so I get that impression. Milos, isn't he retired? He is. Milos is the man, though. I'm actually going to get him on the channel soon. I was voice messaging him the other day. So he might even come on the channel tomorrow. Who knows? I'll ask him. Can Walker and Labrada place apart, or are they destined to finish together again? They definitely can place apart, but yeah, I will probably predict them one after the other. Ramy weighing 340 pounds. It was only 5 days into his prep, so I'm guessing so. I didn't think he was going to see any more physique updates, but anyway, I wanted to bring that to you guys, and I'm glad I got to answer some of your guys' questions. Got no super chats, so I feel a little bit sad, but I'm joking because I feel all the love through the comments and how many views we've got on this live too. So anyway, guys, if you can screenshot this on your screen right now, just click it and post that to your Instagram, tag in Desktop Bodybuilding, tag in Xavier Wills. I think my name's Xavier Wills 89. Oh, my man. Saved by the bell. Brian Nasser. Ramy will be legit at this year's O. Thank you so much. $4.99 donation. Thank you very much, sir. That's cool. Really appreciate that, man. And you can see his back double bicep on the screen too. So sweet. Awesome. Anyway, what a good way to end my night. And I might have some more content as well if I can get that up tonight, my time. But most likely I'll be doing some sort of a live show first thing in the morning tomorrow. Actually, I definitely will be. Whether it's Bodybuilding University, I've got to check with Brett because he's obviously Brett Wilkin, who's in those storms there in Florida. So hopefully he's all safe. I haven't heard from him. I saw he hasn't been on WhatsApp. I'll check now for you guys actually live if I can find my phone is and see if Brett Wilkin is all good. I messaged him to see if he's okay and no response. So we'll have to check with Brett Wilkin. Hopefully we see him on Bodybuilding University, but I do know he ran out of power and just sort of rationing his phone. So I'm assuming he's lost all power. So he might have a totally different crew on this week's Bodybuilding University. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Desktop Bodybuilding. I'm going to try to wrap this up the correct way with all the outros and all that sort of stuff. And I'm so disappointed. I actually did up this little thing going across the bottom, live reaction, Big Ramy insane physique update, all that sort of stuff. So I wrote that out for absolutely nothing because I forgot to play that. But anyway, I'm going to take it off now. We're wrapping up this video. So that's it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed this live. If you did enjoy it, give a video a thumbs up, smash that like button, also subscribe and hit the notification bell button. That way you won't miss out on any of these lives that go up for myself, Xavier Wills at Desktop Bodybuilding, and all the replays that go up as well. So that's it for me. So this is Desktop Bodybuilding, and I'm Xavier Wills, and we are out.